Welcome. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about this book right here, and I'm going to talk about some of the chapters and how I want to get into doing little videos on this book. So this book is called Near Enemies of the Truth by Christopher D. Wallace, PhD. How to avoid the pitfalls of the spiritual life and become radically free. So, you know how there's like tons and tons of slogans, like just be in the moment or follow your bliss. And in North America, we have a lot of like spiritual kind of fake gurus that say stuff like that. And anyway, so this guy is like, he's studied many religions and like really, really deeply. And I think he's like, it's kind of like a yogi. He is Tantra. He's into Tantra. His current religion is classical Tantra, Shiva, Shakti, Tantra. So that's like, if you don't know, have no idea what that is, it's not Western Tantra. That's Neo Tantra. It's not, has nothing to do with original Tantra. It's basically like Indian yoga, Indian yogis. That's the easiest way to describe it. So anyway, I want to do one video on each of the topics here. So he goes into each slogan. So I'm going to read the slogans. Okay, so one is follow your bliss. I think there is 17 of them. So I'll describe the title, Near Enemies of the Truth. So a near enemy is something that looks like the truth, so it's really close to the truth, but it's not the truth, therefore it's the enemy of the truth. But it's really close to the truth, it's almost it, but not quite it. So it becomes not the truth. And because it's so close to the truth, people mistake it for the truth. So it becomes an enemy of the truth because it becomes a deception. It can become a deception. So near enemy of the truth, I think it's a Buddhist phrase, I do believe, a near enemy of the truth. So here I'm going to read the slogan. So I think there's like a chapter on each slogan. He goes into just deciphering it and explaining why these slogans are close to the truth, but because they're not the actual truth, they become the enemy of the truth. Because you're aiming for the target, and you hit something else, and you're like, this is it, isn't it? But it's not it. It's just, it looks like it's identical to it, similar to it, but not quite it, right? Not quite the target. So I think there's 17 that he goes into. I'm going to read the list here of 17. Number 1 is follow your bliss. Number 2 is speak your truth. Number 3 is be your best self. Number 4 is be in the moment. Number 5 is listen to your heart. It's like they're all good suggestions, like listen to your heart. It's great, right? But he goes really deep into saying like how, yes, do that. That's awesome. Yes, be in the moment. Yes, listen to your heart. But don't make that your main like go-to for seeking truth. If you rely too much on that one concept, that one idea, and say it all the time, just like say these words all the time, then it's going to be a little bit too shallow, and you're going to miss the really deep spiritual teachings. Okay, so number 6, love yourself. Number 7, everything happens for a reason. Number 8, everything happens for the best. Number 9, find your soul's purpose. All right, having a purpose. One guy I'm really into, Sadhguru. He's a Indian guru. He says that too. He's like, purpose is basically bullshit. Like purpose, like you're alive, you're breathing. There you go. There you have a purpose. Like you're I mean, he didn't say these exact things. He just said, like, when you get really, really into being serious about having a purpose, he's like, it's kind of egotistical. Like, he didn't say that exactly, but he said something about having a purpose is kind of stupid. But he's brilliant, though. Because think about it this way. It's like, how about helping the millions of starving children around the world? And just helping them. Just doing whatever you can to help them. That's not really having a purpose. It's just helping the world. It's just doing what you can to help the world. Anyway. So where was I? Number 9, find yourselves purpose. Yeah. Number 10, you create your own reality. Yeah. There is some truth to it. Of course. Near enemy number 11, you can choose how to respond. Number 12, negative energy and negative emotions. Right. It's like anger. Oh, it's bad. Anger's bad. It's like, no, it's just an emotion that everyone has. In fact, it's useful and helpful, and you need it for some things. And if you suppress it, spiritual bypass it, and suppress it, what happens when you suppress anger, your natural God-given emotion of anger? It turns into depression. Interesting. So, negative emotions. Near enemy number 13, energy healing. Right. Number 14, I am my own guru. That's the perfect thing that, like, people that hate the legitimate gurus. They're like, oh, you don't need a guru. You are your own guru. The universe is your guru. And there is truth to that. Like, there is legitimate truth to that. But a guru is someone that's mastered, like, spiritual evolution, and then they help you. They like magically help you with it. And they're like, here, it's easy. Here's a gift to help you. And then you're better at it. Can you do that to yourself? Not really. Unless you're going way out abstract and saying your higher self is helping you. And then if it were the case, you'd have to figure out how to talk to it. And I think I just did. I didn't figure it out, but I'm taking a course. A guy. It's really, really awesome. Anyway. So in that case, speaking to your higher self would be like you are your own guru in a way. I'm pro having a guru because the spiritual path is so freaking hard and almost basically impossible to get anywhere. You can have little gains in the spiritual path if you spend a lot of time and effort working on it. But even then, it's still almost impossible to get anywhere. Like, the problem is, it's this planet, it's us, it's all the people. Everyone's stuck on such a low vibration, and that's where we're at. And you're trying to go to a super high vibration that's evolving spiritually. But the problem is the humans are all like magnets, right? So it's, unless you're living in a cave with a guru, all these other magnets, they're going to pull you back down to their vibration. It's nearly impossible to become enlightened and go evolve up a chakra and spiritually evolve. Basically impossible. But the thing is, like, for spiritual seekers, they've had some really, 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 really blissful moments, or even months, years. But to stay there is almost impossible. But it's still worth trying, because that's what we're here for. We're here to evolve spiritually. It's hard. Okay. my many tangents. Okay, where was I? Energy healing. I am my own guru, right? Near enemy number 15. All paths lead to the same goal. That is, in Hinduism, they say all All paths lead back to God. So it's a near enemy of the truth. But yeah, they said it says goal here, not God. All paths lead to the same goal. Near enemy 16 and 17. The universe is giving me a sign. Just give me a sign, God. And go with the flow. Yeah, very cool. So this guy's legit. He has he's got several. Like he studied. He's like a master's in Indian religion, and like a bachelor's and a master's and all the like crazy credentials. And he lived in a ashram in India for like 5-10 years or something. He is one of the most legit spiritual writers I've like ever seen, and in North America. I think he lives in like Europe, maybe. I'm not sure, but very cool, very, very, very wise. So he's into non-dual Shiva Tantra, classical Tantra, basically yoga, classical yoga, not North American, like real yoga, where you have like a guru and energy upgrade chakras and initiations and legitimate chanting and mantras and kriyas and the real deal. Anyway, very cool. So I think classical tantra was created for householders. So you didn't have to be a monk or live in an ashram. It was created. I heard that. I don't know how true it is. Maybe it was edited. They have versions for householders, so you can live a normal life, go to work, have a wife, a family, and still evolve spiritually. So that's why it's cool. I don't want to look more into it. This guy, Christopher Wallace, he has an app now where if you go into ancient teachings, the Shiva Sutras and the Shiva, there was like 100 and Shiva originally he spoke of like so they say Shiva was like the first yogi. But he spoke of like 112 ways to achieve enlightenment or go up level up a chakra or two to evolve spiritually. I think it's 112 or 114 methods. So Christopher Wallace, he teaches all those methods in his app. So they're basically like meditations, right? And they're all in there. So you can, I think it's like a monthly fee. I totally want to do it, but my regime of all the meditations and yoga and everything I'm doing right now and shadow work is extensive, and I don't think I have time for it. But check out his app. I don't know what it's called, but Christopher Wallace. You can type it in, and he has stuff. So meditation's in there for everyone, for every path, for every level, wherever you're at, however much you want to dedicate, whatever you want to achieve spiritually or mentally. There's like a bit for it, a type of meditation for it, and they all come from some sort of Shiva Sutra, which was like, I don't know if it was carved or found like 1,000 years ago or something. I don't know. And from his point of view, this guy, Christopher Wallace, he says yoga and tantra is not as ancient as we think it is. At least when it comes to historical proof, he says it's something more like 1,000 years or 1,600 years ago old. Yoga and tantra. I don't know exactly the exact dates, but and he knows so much about it. It's crazy. So, you ever seen Buddhist monks wearing orange or ochre robes? So how that started was something like 1,500 years ago, or maybe longer. They had these spiritual groups, and they would have ashrams, and they would denounce physical possessions, all physical possessions. So they're Buddhist. I think it started with Buddhists. I'm not sure. And also, of course, Buddha was basically a yogi living in he was India. I know when you think Buddhism, you think like China or Japan, Asia. But I mean, it started in India because the Buddha was Indian. That's why you'll see a lot of crossover between Buddhism and Hinduism. Like the lotus flower, it's in both. It's a symbol for both Hinduism and Buddhism. And the Om symbol, it's like a big E or a 3. So that's in Hinduism and Buddhism because they both came from India. So there's a lot of similarity, a lot of same symbols and same meditations and such. Although I've heard, and yeah, Tibetan Buddhism, because there's so many different types of Hinduism, so many different types of Buddhism, right? So Tibetan Buddhism is a mixture of yoga and Tantra and Buddhism. And then there was an original weird religion there in Tibet before yoga and Tantra and Buddhism came to Tibet. It was something else. I forget what it's called. It was very, very weird, like kind of a creepy one. So Tibetan Buddhism is a mixture of all those four religions combined together. That's why they're so weird. Like they're not normal Buddhists. They're totally off the chart. I saw this one like a yogi Tibetan Buddhist doing these super weird yogic rituals. Like he was doing like this weird arm movements and they were really fast, and then he'd like jump and fold his legs and then land on his cushion. And then he'd do some more weird like breathing and arm movements and then jump up, fold his legs again and land on the cushion. And he kept doing this. It was like a workout yogic breathing thing. I don't know, it's totally weird. So Tibetan Buddhism is weird. They I've heard of Rinpoches that are super evolved spiritually, and they reincarnate. Sometimes some of the Rinpoches, they're like lamas. Like there's lamas and there's Rinpoches. Some of them reincarnate, and one of them he was the 6th. One of the guys alive right now, Rinpoche. He's like the 5th or 6th version of himself. And then when they reincarnate, they have to go find them, bring them back, and neighbors are coming home. And but when they're children, they have to do hardcore meditation and studies for like 10 years to regain their title. And in order for a lama or a Rinpoche to qualify to be, a child monk or whatever, or qualify as a legitimate reincarnation, they have to go through a huge process. Like there's several things that they have to pass. There was a documentary on a child, Rinpoche, and it was cool. He didn't pass the trials. There are several things they have to do, which is really pretty cool. They find the kid, and they have to recognize several of their physical possessions. So he did that part. But there's several things, but one of them is they go and live in the monastery for a while. But if they're old devotees, people that served them and lived with them and devoted their lives to them and worked underneath them like disciples, if the kid's disciples from his last life don't come and find him, then he doesn't qualify as a legitimate Rinpoche, reincarnated Rinpoche. Anyway, it's crazy, right? So there's a documentary on YouTube with a kid that his disciples didn't come for him, so they're like, you're a fake. and it's like a 2-hour documentary. Really, really cool. Just crazy, right? So anyway, so this guy teaches non-dual Shaiva Tantra, Shakti Shaiva Tantra, kind of like yoga. But the good part is that you can advance spiritually doing these meditations and still have a normal life. From what I heard, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm gonna check it out at some point. Yeah. So that's it for now. Like and subscribe if you've got anything good out of this, and I'll see you around. Cheers. Have a good one.